Midnight Matinee. We're getting me and Puerto Rican Chris, aka Worst Name Gamer, are getting ready to review Thor Ragnarok.
What's
He's
up,
using
buddy?
one of
Welcome.
yes, he's using one of these awesome features, Snapcam. Not a sponsor, but can be. But what's good, bro?
Hold on, let me get one of my props. Where's my other prop? I gotta fit the bill completely. Who am I? Who am I? Come on now. Who am I? I'll give you a hint. His name starts with a Thor and ends with a or. Ah! Blay. Jane. I love you, Jane. Jenny. Anyway. Ro, it's good to see you, man. I'm still a little delusional from the 12-hour stint I did, my 12-hour bid on stream from last night, 10 p.m. all the way to 10 a.m. Yeah. How's your beard, man? How's your beard doing? Sturdy, are you frozen? I think Sturdy's frozen. Anybody else realize that Sturdy's frozen?
OBS has been acting real funky lately. I'll fix it in a second, though. I'll
All
fix
right,
it.
bet. All right, so I'll get back on camera on my end. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great journey so far. We've gone all the way from Captain America, the first Avenger, all the way down through Doctor Strange to tonight. We got Thor Ragnarok. We're going over it. Now, if you've gone through, if you've joined us in the journey, if you've seen the other episodes, you would know that of the entire MCU, the Thor franchise have been my least favorite. I'm pretty sure it's been Sturdy's least favorite. But this one, without giving out my rating or nothing, comes through and saves it a little bit. I'm excited for Love and Thunder. I'm hoping that it continues the trend it's on. I've seen mixed reviews about it. I have not even watched or seen a single trailer for Love and Thunder. Not a single one. I've seen a picture or two that was floating through on feeds and scrolls, but I avoid anything that I really want to enjoy like the plague so that nothing gets spoiled. I hadn't seen, for example, any of the Star Wars up until about 6 months ago, as far as the last three from this newer generation. I hadn't watched any trailers. I had seen Rogue One, I had seen Solo, and I had not watched any trailers. So nowadays, I do not watch trailers for something that like I know I really want to enjoy or I think I'm really like interested in. I don't do it to myself. I can't anymore. I avoid posts. I don't look at them on. If I see something and it says something about it, or it's got a picture about it, I go right by it. I apologize to all you creators that have probably put up some type of content that you wanted my attention on, but for the sake of me being able to enjoy it, give reactions in their full genuineness with no bias or no taintedness with any type of initial thought behind it other than what I may have read when they first said it's coming, little things that like, hey, it's getting closer, stuff like that. Other than that, I do not want to do these reviews with any type of bias or, any type of influence. So you guys get the unadulterated, unfiltered, complete, legitimate, real, in the moment response to the movies like those that are coming out. I hadn't seen Doctor Strange until I watched the movie. I did not watch the trailer. I did the same with the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. And that's the trend I'm going to keep going, especially with the MCU, because these have such a fucking huge place in my heart for the movie-going experience and the storytelling experience that they create. Homie said Ragnarok is top 5 MCU. That is our boy Giovanni. If you guys don't know, go check out Giovanni's Instagram and his TikTok. He's got a super dope non-for-profit called Gio's Hope for Kids. He's filled 800 book bags. He just started filling supplies in them. He saw him unloading loose leaf paper packs into them so he can deliver them to kids in need in these neighborhoods where he's from. So if you guys want to go support someone who's supporting his community, supporting the people of his world that he lives in, that he is most closest to, then you can go ahead, you can contribute by either donating to him, you can send goods, you can contact him, you can repost and retweet. All that stuff matters, all that stuff helps, so make sure you go and do it. We appreciate people like you. It means a lot to know people like you and have people like you that we can gravitate to and we can meet on a whim off of doing stuff like this and continue these friendships and build upon them and help support you and help blast you. So good looking out, G. Keep it going, brother.
Very good looking out. And I'm working on this OBS thing, guys. We've been having some trouble with OBS lately as a unit. James has been getting fucked over with OBS. It's still flopping around with me right now, so I'm still here. It's just, give me a few more minutes and I'll try to get this thing going for you guys.
Shit,
But going back to what you were saying about the trailers real quick. Now, on Popcorn and Pints and Horror Story, we were doing trailer reviews for a while, and we just stopped because it was just like too much. It was like we did it literally like right after the episodes, and I'm kind of glad we did, just so you get like that. Like, I like watching a film without knowing anything about it. I don't, you know what I mean, without seeing any visuals from it, and you go and watch these films, and it's like, if you love them or hate them, you get that different aspect of it. And this is one of those films, because we haven't done it. Actually, we haven't done it on Worst Damn Gamers podcast at all, where we watch the trailers first. We just watch the movies. And for me, a lot of these films are like first time watches for me, and I'm enjoying them for the most part. I did not like Black Widow, and the first two Thor movies were like, I think I gave them like sixes or whatever. This right here, I'm not going to give you guys my review, but this was definitely the best one, hands down. I had a lot more fun with it.
I'm glad.
Awesome.
I'm glad because that's the thing that kind of sucks about how expansive and how great these movies are. Of course, man, I told you I still owe you a post. I haven't forgot about you. I told you almost a month ago I was going to make another post for you and blast it. I haven't forgot. I just haven't been on. I haven't been me. I haven't been giving a shit lately. But I got you. I don't forget. I stick to my word. So it's coming. These movies, I'm glad that the trend was like it started off a little bit rocky and then got better because it's a hindrance. Well, it's not hindrance. It's a good thing and a bad thing because how great the whole rest of the MCU universe is, that it causes us to have this little bit of a conflict with at least one of the series, and that it causes us to kind of reflect on kind of the bottom of the barrel for it, if you will. And I know that sounds strong when we're talking about reviewing or our impressions of a movie, but we say it on almost every episode. The bottom of the barrel for this universe is still better than 75-80% of movies that get put out that are in the lower realm, lower budget or whatnot, especially the big budget films. Like for a big budget film like this, and these are us comparing them to other movies within its same franchise and genre, not even other movies just in the movie world. They're just so great and so good that it has us. We have to pick a bad, right? We have to pick great. We have to really pick in between these and find what for sure, because we can't just be like they're all phenomenal, they're all 10s, right? Else, what's the point of you watching these podcasts? You know what I mean?
That would be lying, because it's just like, okay, we're just gonna say these movies are good to say they're good. And on the opposite end, because you guys know, if you watch Horror Research 30, Popcorn and Pints, you've seen me on podcasts where we watch a lot of bad shit, and I'm like, I guess you can call it negative reviews, but what we're doing on shows, yes, we may put a little more energy into. I mean, obviously, we're gonna put a little more energy into it because we're in front of the camera, but that's our honest opinions about the movie, good or bad. Like, but there's been plenty of times me and Worst Damn have been sitting down talking movies, music, or whatever, and it gets not intense, like as far as like an argument, just like how you see it on the show. Behind the scenes, we get like that same way. It just may be turned up a little bit for you guys, but it's all 100% passion. It's not like scripted or anything like that. It's just to kind of have you guys want to engage. Like, it would be boring if we're just sitting here all calm talking about if we like a movie or not. We really put our passion, our energy into it, and this is a Thor film that I'm actually happy with. Like, I was really happy with this film for the most part. It was definitely the best Thor movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
I always got the trailers for the movies going, so that while you're watching my show here on my channel, if you're on my YouTube, if you're on my Twitch, if you're on my Facebook pages, whether it's my personal or the Worst Damn Gamers, profile page, in the lower right hand corner of the screen, I got photos from the movie. I got the trailer going with no audio, just so you can kind of get that experience as well. This is one of the first times that I actually watched this trailer. You know, I do want to do the trailer reviews. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to watch trailers or review them for you. I want to. I just want to make sure that I don't watch them before I watch the movie because I don't want things to be spoiled. I don't want things, but then again, that's another piece of content, another little filler for you guys that you get to enjoy, whether you're having a quick coffee break, you're in the middle of your day, you're on lunch or whatever, or, you know, if this continues to grow and I get to have a Patreon or any type of support like that, you know, that'll be stuff that you guys will benefit from getting more content, more fill, you know, should you want to support the program and all stuff like that. So don't get me wrong. I love trailers. I absolutely do. But when it comes to certain pieces of
Mhm.
content, certain movie going things, I just don't want to ruin them. And I don't want to ruin them for you either. You have your choice. You can go and watch them if you want. You can get on the feeds and they can scroll through. And if you really want to, you can consume the content. You can watch the trailer. You can draw your own conclusion. That's nothing that's going to stop you on my end from doing that. But when it comes to me and providing the content and making the content for you, that's not something that I'm going to do. I'm going to make them for you separately so that you guys can enjoy them. And like I said, I just always want to be genuine. I always want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the content with me
Mhm.
in the moment and you guys are getting a full picture of, listen, I walked into this thing with like zero expectation other than I was hyped just for the fact that it was happening and I could not wait to see what exactly they did and how exactly they did things in their
Yes.
process of making this movie.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I'm gonna you keep talking though, man. I'm gonna back at it because just Obi, you know how these stupid shits work. So I'm gonna back out of here and come back into the live.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
sorry, but just so I can get this camera thing back up. OBS has been a bitch.
No,
But
you're good.
really
I
quick,
had to stop mine and restart it again.
Giovanni, I could sue you for slander.
I'm
You know,
hoping Nicolas Cage gets a role in the MCU. That's what I'm hoping. Other than Ghost Rider, I'm saying, because that's not technically MCU.
I, on that
Not
note,
yet,
that
anyway. Not with the multiverses now that just came into play. He may make an appearance. I don't know. That's not a rumor that I've read or seen, but I'm just trying to draw my own theories.
I'll,
And
I'll be right back, gentlemen, ladies.
he's like, I can't even deal with this. I need to leave right now. That's hilarious. Oh man, I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Hope you guys had a great beginning to your weekend. Hope you guys had a great week. All right, so I'm gonna start us off here while Sturdy gets his thing going. You know, Thor Ragnarok sets us off just after the events of the last Avengers movie, I believe. Um, and he's back. He made his decision. He wants to rule, and after Dark World, he's gonna rule, but he's gonna rule from a distance. He knows Earth needs him. Situations arise when he is back on his own planet of Asgard, and he's now pretty much overseeing. And a threat comes, a new powerful threat comes in, who ends up being his sister, his long lost sister, who's evil, and she basically kicks his ass, takes over his kingdom, rules in fear, rules with an iron hand of fear, and he gets taken away, banished off, and he gets abducted and thrown into pretty much a gladiator situation, like straight up gladiator, like old school Roman style. Like, we now own you. You will fight to the death, or else we will kill you either way, and or we will work you to the bone till you die. So I love shit like this. I love mythology and mythos of the old worlds and stuff like this, and all like dead worlds and ancient things like that. You know, and it's cool that that Marvel, Stan Lee, you know, his co-creators and such, had such an insight for political and social issues to create a creative way to bring it to the mainstream and have people reflect on these issues, whether they knew it or not. Like, if you were reading these comic books when they were coming out, like, you're not making these correlations and these you know, connections between things of racism and diversity or ethnicity and division or segregations and stuff like that. You know, till later on in life, he tells you where his inspirations came from. Like, you can kind of read between the lines in some of the stuff, but honestly, like, it was genius in the way they did it, right? And if you want people to pay attention, you got to find a way for them to engage with it and consume it and then draw lines, right? And make connections for them. Whether they realize those are the lines and connections that were being drawn to. but they get something out of it. There's morality, there's humanity, there's heroism, there's choices of character, and choices, hard places, right? Hard choices to be made, where sacrifices, or difficult, hard to make decisions that you just have to make and then sit with the outcome, whether it's good or bad, as long as there is a good outcome for the greater in these positions of people who have power, like Thor and the Avengers and all that. So I love these stories. I love how, we're now faced with him making his choices and his alliances and seeing a purpose in defending Earth, still knowing he has a role to play for Asgard. A threat now comes to his homeland, kicks his ass, kicks him out. He gets abducted. He gets put into a gladiator situation where he's enslaved, and then he ends up running into somebody he knows, a couple people he knows, actually. He ends up making new acquaintances and allies while he's in captivity, and the story starts to unfold in there. So I really love how they've put together all of these stories. I say it time and time again. The way Disney, Marvel, Kevin Feige, Louis Desposito, and John Favreau just come together and make so many great, intricate, different, and separate stories intertwine, play out, continue to last. Because now we're at the point where these movies have been out since, what was the first Iron Man? 2003. We're talking almost 20 years. We're talking almost 20 years of filmmaking and development and storytelling, cohesiveness, weaving, that took amazing teams, amazing people, skills, attention to detail. This is, I say it time and time again, this is how you tell stories nowadays. This is everybody who is a filmmaker, who's inspiring to be a filmmaker. The ways of the old, the usual of doing it is no longer. There is no way you can go back to just doing cash grabs that make no sense, cash grabs that only have big names attached to it, cash grabs that, are okay and pass because compared to everything else, it's the best choice you got. There's no more of that. This all breaks all of the realms, all of the rules, and makes people really engage, connect for times and generations. This is fucking dope that it's even getting better, even with the shortcomings of this Thor story, starting out from the first one to the Dark World to yeah, this is the third one, and now I'm excited to see Love and Thunder.
And going really quick, what you were saying earlier about Love and Thunder, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people are either saying, like, I've heard it even okay to maybe good
Mm-hmm.
to not that great, or it was too. I've heard a lot. I think the biggest complaint I've heard is there was too much comedy in it. I guess I have to see it for myself, which I will eventually. But
Which I'm not even mad at that.
I guess we gotta just see how it plays out, though. When we get to that point, I'm sure you'll watch it way before I do. But when it does come to that point of watching the film and stuff, but I'm not mad at it. As far as like this one had its humor in it, and I love the Hulk Thor team up. I love the Hulk and Thor on the screen together when they're fighting each other, when they're teaming up together, because it's always just like that. It's that funny battle. Like if you see the animated series, for example, when they got a train and they like destroy the fucking Avengers, man, all the time. They're just destroying everything. And it was very similar in this, where they're in that that was where
The
were they at when
reality
they're
of living.
fighting each other in that little battle area.
Coliseum, arena. I mean,
Thank you.
it's had many
And
names
you know
over
what?
generations.
It was a long day for me. Like this is, what I mean, it's another podcast, another cool shit on here, but this is definitely worth it. This movie right here was. This movie right here is what I was expecting from the first two Thor movies, as far as the entertainment, as far as the storytelling. Even though, but now through up till now with the Avengers movies, this isn't one of the best stories told still, but they definitely did a lot better on this film than they did on the first two, in my opinion, as far as just entertainment. In my opinion, I know everybody has their own favorite. As far as I'm just talking Thor. But this was definitely the best one. Hands
Oh, I'm
down.
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok, it restored my confidence in not really the character, just the standalone movies for the character, honestly. Because I like Thor. I like Chris Hemsworth Thor. I like his banter with the Avengers. I like his he's a god who tries to humble himself to, you know, deal with these mortals of Earth and work as a team with them. And he has no problem not being the leader, even though he still comes off very much as a strong leader. So I like the character. I like the way he's portrayed. I love the actor's input on it and the way he brings it to life. But for the franchises, it just was not looking good. And then this one came out, and we said before on some of these that some of these movies probably would have been better off as series instead of standalone movies. And yeah, it was looking that way. But now that Ragnarok had come out at this point, it gave you some of that comedic banter. It gave you some extra characters. It gave you enough of a struggle and a tragedy for Thor himself to evolve even further than we've seen in the past previous movies, and continue that in a way that now makes you happy to see the movie, happy you got through the movie. Not very many things I can pick out of plot holes like the other ones. There's one or two, but still nothing that's even so notable that like I absolutely have to mention this, and I absolutely feel like this hurt its score or anything like that, like some of the other ones. So I'm glad this one ended up the way it did. I'm glad the story continued the way it did. I'm glad we got to see Hulk and Thor together. I'm glad we got to see Loki interacting with Thor again. I'm glad to see that, his story, his journey now leads him to the next part where his world's destroyed. We'll see what happens in the next Avengers movies that are to come on the next few episodes. And see where he's got to go. Because at the end of Doctor Strange, he meets up with Thor and is like, yo, your brother's a problem. What are you doing here? If you go find your brother, will you guys all just leave and go back? And he goes, fine, I'll help you. And then that's where the cutscene ends. So now they're back together after that. It literally ends right after that. Joins right after the last Thor movie and right after the last Avenger movies. Like one whole encompassing, like full circle thing within an episode or two, like if you were thinking of it as like comics or as like a show. Mwah.
I will say this though, between the three Thor movies, like say if they did have a series with them, and the first Thor movie season 1, the second is season 2, this is season 3, I feel like the way they could have probably connected them, they could have made it better all overall as a series. I do feel that way, but I do feel like this is the one Thor movie out of the 3 that I've seen that I feel does deserve its own standalone film. But at the same time, I still do feel deep down, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that I would probably enjoyed it more as a series. All these movies as a series is kind of connecting. Cut out some of the shit that was in each of the films, I guess you could say, somewhat, but still have like the build up and all that, because you can have more character development. Like it would have been cool for someone like myself that doesn't know as far as the comic books and more so. Yeah. But I don't even like she was a Valkyrie. Like, learning more about her in a few episodes. On this, with this, like say this being season 3, you kind of get a backstory of them. You don't have to get too deep. You kind of just learn more about her. And this is more so for, I'll say I'm a casual Marvel fan, if you guys want to call it that. Like I enjoy the animated series, I enjoy the movies that I've seen, but I'm not like a deep dive into the comic books and all that other wormholes, whatever you can get yourself into. Which if you are, that's amazing. I understand it. So like again, just for myself as a casual, seeing these as a series would have been a really good, really fun time. And shout out to you, Mark, again over on Stream Lounge for tuning into this episode. You were with me for when I watched Thor Ragnarok earlier, getting ready for this review. You were with us when we did the review on Popcorn and Pines. You were with me when I watched that movie Vamp. We won't be reviewing that at 2 a.m. We may just go into gaming for a little bit, and I'll have that on the Horrible Search 30 for the Stream Lounge thing. But we greatly appreciate your support. And this is actually something I was talking about earlier, Mark, on the Z Network. Another awesome, amazing creator. So I said, you guys go to the Z Network, check out all of us. We have some dope creations. This gentleman right here does so many different shows as far as being across Horrible Search 30, helped me out on that. Co-host on Popcorn and Pints, his own show right here. He does his own gaming, and this is why, again, you guys get Twitch on here too, because you can see him gaming, and he will be on here because he's like me. He likes to stream all over the place. He's gonna set up for Streamlabs eventually, but we'll talk. We'll talk. We have plenty of ideas and some dope stuff. Trust me on that.
Oh yeah.
And I just it's one of those things where I just love making these connections. And Mark, you've been really supportive just with today. Like I just met you today through this. I know you're part of Stream Lounge, and you would love Chris with his energy, and you would love to see him how he would host a watch party with these films, and he would have just the energy. He'd have you guys in tears, laughing and crying with his emotions. His life, he can't help it. But all joking aside, I really love doing stuff with the guys that you see me working with earlier and other content creators. We really do feed off each other with the energy. Like this is all natural. And if you guys tune in next week on Popcorn and Punch, you're gonna see the fuck out. I cannot stand Nicolas Cage. And these guys, that's the only reason why these guys do this shit, because they know how I feel about them. So they're gonna keep doing it. They did it a couple weeks ago when I was on for my anniversary. And sorry for this, Chris, but for my anniversary weekend, we took a break from Popcorn and Pints. I was like, guys, you guys can host it. You don't need me there. But because it was a Nicolas Cage movie pick, they had to wait. Assholes. Assholes. But yeah, this is the energy you guys are gonna get when you see us streaming from anywhere from the Z Network. It's fun, loving, happy, crazy, wild energy.
I mean, for the same way you see us having a great time, you're gonna see and know when we didn't have a great time. Like we just keep it straight 100%. We show the passion. We are not afraid to speak our minds and show our opinions, and that's what you're gonna get here with most of the content on the Z Network. You know, everybody is just really happy to provide their perspective and actually, you know, join communities and grow communities and build and, you know, make connections with people out there. You know, and it's super dope that we have these platforms to do it on. I really enjoy that I've started doing this and became, you know, a game streamer and all of that stuff. There's just so many cool things from gaming with people from all over the world. I was just talking to Sturdy about it, where, you know, I did a 12-hour stream, started at 10 p.m. last night, streamed with a bunch of people that were, you know, I stream with regularly on a Friday. We had great time. There was a little bit of a death spot, but then I was really enjoying myself. I didn't care. I was just having a great time with the people I was playing with. And then later on, the morning came by, the sun came up. It was all beautiful for me to see and experience. And then I'm talking and playing with people from the UK and New Zealand, like so dope. The opposite end of the world that I normally would never have an exposure to. Nobody that I would ever know was alive, or they would ever know I was alive. I get to connect, I get to talk to them, and I get to just have a good time, be myself, and, you know, provide some content for you guys to unwind with, you know, start your day out with, whatever. So I greatly appreciate it. It's getting better and better, just like the Thor series did, you know. So I'm happy to be here growing with everybody and you know, along on the journey with y'all just as much as you're with me. So appreciate everybody who stops in, gets in the comments, laughs at me, makes fun of me. I'm good with it. Bring it. Let's go. Which is why I'm Thor tonight.
Yo, Giovanni just messaged me and was saying that you're, I guess on his end, your sound's a little choppy. Can you back out?
I was just about to. Yeah, I was waiting for us to stop talking here for a second.
But I'm blaming OBS for this, so I'll go on a little quick OBS rant while he's going out. And the reason I'm saying this is because we have our guy, and like towards the end of the episodes for these past week, maybe 2 weeks.
Let's try this again.
It's messing stuff up. Don't know what's going on. But we're gonna fight through it though, guys. This is something that's not gonna stop us. It's not gonna stop us. We're not gonna let it stop us. We're gonna keep fighting through it and having a wonderful time with this.
This is really annoying because it was perfectly fine until you left and then came back. So I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying this shit's getting annoying. That fucking everything that works perfectly fine for weeks and months on end magically, and then we got to start playing around with different settings and like, okay, so what didn't change? What did change? Nothing didn't change. So what is it? It's just frustrating at times. First world streamer problems, yo.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're still a little choppy, but hang on, here, and it's weird. Because again, we just did Popcorn and Pints a couple hours ago, and it was fine.
I know. I know.
It was fine, and now.
Hello? Say something?
Yo.
Yeah, no, it's still doing it. Why? And I'm at 6200 kbp for bitrate, so it should be fine.
Stream your 10 out. We're both 10
There
out
we
of 10
go.
for the network connection.
I don't know why it made me have to change my settings and then change them back again. Whatever. Say something, Sturdy?
You had wait. It made you change your set?
Yeah, I went in and changed the source, like where it's getting the sound from, twice, and then it worked. Makes no sense, bro. No sense. But whatever.
OBS, get your shit together.
Well, I also added a few extra plugins or whatnot to help get the audio together so that I can split it all. So like now, for instance, when I'm gaming, I can play certain music, but it won't record to the video after the stream is done when it's posted, so that now I can take that content, chop it up, and then add other soundtracks to it so I can post it on other social medias without it getting flagged or fucking DMCA'd or banned or whatnot. Yeah. Trying to iron out all the kinks for everybody to enjoy some awesome, great content that they can support.
Yeah, well, we're trying, guys. We are trying. This usually does not happen with this whole sound shit. This is out of our control. So hopefully it'll start working right. This is 100% out of our control. Like I said, OBS has been weird. Sometimes OBS and Restream both act weird. For out of nowhere too. Like you don't get a warning. You don't get like a pop-up message. It's just like, you know what? These guys put out such dope content. We're just gonna fuck with them tonight. We're gonna try to piss them off and make them stop, but it's not gonna stop us.
I've spent literally probably at least 10-15 hours in the past 2 days fucking with this audio, setting it up, equalizing it, fucking getting all the mix down and everything between all the different channels that I finally got split up between desktop, music, microphone, you know, video that comes in from other people. Like it's officially turning into a broadcast. Like it's getting pretty quite intricate here. Like I'm becoming my own producer, soundboard guy, fucking social media manager, reviewer, personality. Like it's fucking crazy how many hats you gotta wear when you decide you want to do this shit.
Giovanni says it's still choppy. So
you're
OBS
choppy, man.
Huh?
I said you're choppy, man. The Geo.
I'm gonna back out and come back.
All right, bet.
Really quick, and then we'll see what happens. Hopefully it fucking works right. But let me come right
I'm
back.
not dropping frames or anything.
Me either. I don't know what the hell's going on today.
I'm at high bit rate. Who knows? Who stinking knows? You know? What about you guys out there? I know Gio already said he said Thor Ragnarok is top 5. It's close. It's close for me, Gio, because now who's choppy? Was I choppy or was he choppy, or were we both choppy when we were talking? That's question 1. 2, top 5. Oh, see, now you're choppy again in my head.
And you're kind of choppy like fast in mine too. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Same here. Same here.
Makes zero fucking sense. 0 cents.
0 cents.
We'll figure it out though. Hopefully, it's not our fault.
I mean, it probably is, but still, it's not. How about now? You good?
I don't know. Say something again.
Something. Something.
Same shit, unfortunately.
That is what it is. Well, enjoy. This is a fast episode of the Midnight Matinee. We're going to be speaking super fast so that it goes really fast, and it seems like it's playing in 2 times its speed, but it's not. But it's actually us just talking really fast. Anyway. So Gio said top 5 for him on Thor Ragnarok. That's a tough one for me. I mean, between Infinity Wars, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Civil War, even if we want to really throw in the Spider-Man movies, you know, Far From Home, No Way Home, you know, there's some new shit, man. Shang-Chi was good. You know what I mean? Like it's the first Captain America. I mean, fuck. Like how? How do we decide truly at the end of this what we're gonna even say is like our top 3 to 5? Like I think we said we were gonna go for 3, but
if you go by strictly ratings, I guess. But then at the same time, I feel like I'm just a weird person when it comes to ratings. But I also feel like in this same sense of it, it's like you might make a movie movie for what it is. Like, it might be a better movie overall, but you might like one more. Like, it's just like, this movie's beautiful, you can't really argue it, but I enjoyed, like, I could go back to this one more. I enjoy this one a hell of a lot more. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I know. I'm starting to get used to the way you rate and stuff like that. The whole in the moment feeling thing and all that.
Yes, for example, like Conjuring, beautiful movie, wonderful movie, love it. I'll go back to Friday the 13th a hell of a lot more. It's nowhere near as good as that, but I just enjoy it more as far as like that fun kind of just throw it on, watch it in the background type of deal, or you could just, I don't know, it makes sense in my head. But we'll figure it out. But as far as this being top 5, I don't think any top 5 as far as the Marvel category. For me, I'm not saying you're wrong, G. I'm saying for me.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Winter Soldier, you mentioned
Civil War.
You mentioned a few films, and Thor's not making my top 5.
No. Ragnarok definitely redeemed itself for the series, or redeemed the series. It's definitely up there now. This is one of my favorite in the MCU, but not my top.
You at all right now?
What? Why not? I changed something again.
You guys can or not?
Yo.
Listen. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, so Thor definitely, this Ragnarok movie definitely redeemed the series. It definitely made it so much better that it does deserve to be among the best of the series. It's just this MCU makes it so hard to pinpoint top 3. It's a battle. It's almost like, fuck, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you're trying to compare the best fucking Yankee team of all time to itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like trying to take the greatest of the greats of like different sports and you're trying to compare them. Like, how do you put up the 97 Bulls, you know what I'm saying, to like the fucking like 97, 99, 2000 Yankees, to like fucking, I don't even know, like San Francisco fucking 49ers back when Joe Montana and Jerry Rice were on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so tough to, especially since they're in different spaces. Like, how do you compare them like that? You know, but one thing is deniable. These are all movies that all needed each other, that all helped each other's stories get told and get put in place and forecast other things and foreshadow things, tie things together. And that's why I fucking, till the end of time, will always refer back to this MCU universe when I talk movies with somebody. Before this, you know, if you talk horror with me, I'll always refer back to Nightmare on Elm Street. If you talk fucking action movies with me, I probably would refer to like fucking, I guess it depends on which action movies you want, but mainly like Die Hards, or, you know, action comedies, Beverly Hill Cop, or fucking like certain movies like that like are just references for things. The crazy part about these movies is, to me, they have become the reference for almost all movies, period. All movie telling, all movie watching, going experiences, period. Like, now you're getting darker tones in some of the newer stuff. We've got comedy in some of these. We've got, you know, heartfelt shit. We've got action. We've got morality and compromising and like decision making that is tough to swallow. We have friendships that are built from enemies and, you know, working together and that remain. We have other characters that were in the background that are now in the foreground and have grown to be the main attractions in some aspects. Like, it's fucking dope.
It is. And these like, I still enjoy horror more than I do this Marvel thing. I'm just a horror head. But these are fucking fantastic. For the most part, they're really good films. They're really, really good. Like, overall, again, if you go with the whole universe as a whole, from what you've seen from as a whole, there's definitely way more good than bad. And then there's a few greats in there where you're just like, yo, this was a great freaking movie. This here, though, going back to, you know, because we're supposed to talk about Ragnarok, I'll say for me, again, this is just for me. This was good, but it wasn't great. This was good, but it wasn't great. And the reason why I put it in the good categories because I feel like, again, going back to the first and Thor movies, those movies are like okay. They were just kind of like those two movies again. Like you were saying, could have been a series. I was even saying when I was watching Thor Ragnarok when I was streaming it earlier that the first two Thor movies could have almost been, if not a series, like kind of a part of either a team up with the Hulk type movie, a team up with somebody, or like just a small part of the Avengers. Like you just get, you know what I mean? Like just take like maybe 20 minutes of the Avengers and just pull the important stuff from those films. That's my opinion. I'm not saying they're bad though. I'm not saying they're bad. And Gio just messaged me and said it's so much better. I don't know what happened in the background restream. That's your fault, not ours. But for whatever reason, it's working fine now. I don't know what happened because we don't do anything different than we do any other time that we stream. But hey, I'm happy that it's working right now. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve that. Now,
So-
you've seen this movie a few times, right?
Yeah. I've seen all of the MCU at least 5 or 6 times, with the exception of Civil War and Winter Soldier. I've seen those probably 10 to 12 times at least.
Got it.
I absolutely love those films. Okay, so we kind of have two antagonists in this movie, right? We got the dark sister there, the stepsister, whatever, that comes back to claim fucking Asgard. The Maleficent looking chick that kicks his ass, takes his eye. And then we also have Jeff Goldblum's character, who's running the slaves and the fucking Coliseum and shit. Who gets Loki as his pet to help him.
Speaking of Jeff, he really quick one thing. Gio said you're still kind of glitchy. He said I'm good, you're still glitchy. But really quick, Jeff Goldblum, the way he acted in this film, I fucking loved it. Like I loved his. I don't think they could have cast a better person for this role, and he very slightly, very lightly, so people don't take my head off, don't get upset when I say this. Small, teensy weensy, like Jurassic Park, like his character in Jurassic Park. You can kind of see mixing with this in a sense, you know what I mean?
Okay.
This one was way more out there, but just with certain things, like with certain things he would say, certain remarks, and you're just like I like it. I mean, the fucking spaceship, for one thing. One of my favorite things in this movie, the spaceship, had no weapons. He was like, he just takes it for orgies. I was dying. Yep. I'm watching this on the Streamlounge thing, and I'm like, what better place to do something like that than in a fucking spaceship? No gravity. The sex that has to be. Just imagine being able to float around, and I don't want to get too crazy, too graphic, and being able to have an whatever. That would be wild. Like,
shit.
Yo, when you're saying you're on cloud 9, but yo, girl, that sex was out of this world. Like, it's literally out of this world. You're in a spaceship floating around. And that's all that was going through my mind when that scene came up and they mentioned it. I was like, holy shit, I would love to know that. It can just be a one-on-one with yourself and your significant other. I like having sex in space is like on my unrealistic bucket list now because of this movie. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite, like, understated and like very small roles in this whole MCU that plays kind of a big role in a couple of these movies. So again, they do such a good job with like some of those minuscule and obscure things that seem like, hey, there's only but so much time of this person on screen, but it plays such a huge role with other things, or the further advancement of the story that leads to those bigger opportunities or those bigger moments that make the movies what they are. And that's one of those characters right there. Like in the Thor realm, he's kind of like the Agent Coulson. You know what I mean?
I would say that, but maybe even more with a more prominent role, because he has the type of role, I guess, where you can say that it's like, give me a second. It may not, he's not the main character, but his roles really, like, when he's on camera, when he takes the scene, his roles really take over, and it's always something important. It's always something that's like big. and you're just like, holy shit. Even if it just seems insignificant when you're seeing him with the oh, what are they called? Asgardians.
Okay.
You know, when he's trying to protect them and all that. Even though, and it's before like the fights start, and then you see him take out a bunch of shit, just destroy shit, and you see him getting ready to fight the wolf, and then Hulk. Oh, really quick, I love this scene. I was laughing so fucking hard. Bruce Banner when he's about to jump out the spaceship, and he's like, she's like, so who are you? He's like, just watch this. He jumps out the fucking ship and just hits the ground back. He was expecting to like turn into the Hulk like he does in every other film, in the air or whatever, just, you know, probably land on the wolf and fuck it up, but he just hits the ground, and you see the wolf kind of step over him and getting ready to head towards the people, and then it's just, you just see the wolf get stopped, and Hulk, and from then on I'm just like, this is the part we were fucking waiting for. Like, this, the last 40 minutes of this movie were probably the best parts of this movie, besides when, you know, besides the back and forth when Hulk and Thor get together. Those are always some of my favorite parts in these movies, I'm not gonna lie to you. And when they're talking about who won and all of that, as Banner, or when Banner was like, who won the fight between us, Thor was like, I did, it wasn't even close or some shit. I was laughing so hard. I love little scenes like that, because I love the competitiveness between Thor and Hulk, and I go back to the animated series. That's what I'm more familiar with, and how they had it go from there to boom. Yo, you know, it's funny you say that. Yeah. The unlimited bullets.
Yeah.
G. Yeah. What's funny, I swear to you, again, I was watching this, streaming it live earlier, and I mentioned that, and as soon as I mentioned it, he ran out of bullets and started hitting people with the gun, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Literally, because it was unlimited for me. It was, and as soon as I mentioned it, it was just like, yep, Sturdy said something, you know what, we don't have any more bullets. Even though the movie's already recorded.
So what did you think about that guy, that character?
I didn't mind him. I knew he wasn't, I had a feeling he wasn't like that bad or something, when the part where he's supposed to execute the girl, the woman, and like you could see it in his face, he did not want to do it, and I feel like he was almost waiting for a way out, and he got that way out, and then you kind of see what he does at he sacrifices himself to save all those people on that ship. So I don't know for the whole thing if he was just waiting for his moment, or if it was just like maybe just seeing Thor's sister, his leader at the time, just like going through that and seeing that, like, okay, you know what? We all have corrupt leaders. You know how that shit goes. Just like, you know what? I'm not really feeling this anymore. Like, I'm starting to see the truth. I'm not digging it. I need to, if I'm gonna die, and I'm talking in this movie, I think his mindset was more so like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die going out as a hero than going out destroying shit, basically. I know I did a lot of fucked up shit, but I want to save Asgard. And I mean, what he did in that scene, the ship got away and he saved those Asgardians. He was a big part of that. He was a huge part of that, and he sacrificed himself, and it, you know, it was cool, but it was a significant part. And I guess you could, I don't even want to say to an extent, I guess it was a pretty significant part, but he wasn't one of those characters that like I was mad or excited about when I seen him, when you meet him. It was just because he was like that. I don't even know if you want to call him second in command when he was on that side. I don't know if you want to call him that, but he was like the head henchman, I guess, so to speak. And then he just kind of, you know, like, again, he was just like, I don't want to be about the bullshit anymore. I want to do the right thing, kind of. And again, I wasn't mad at it either way. I wasn't mad at it, but he was in it. He was in it, and I guess he played a decent role in it. He played an important role in it. He didn't make me feel away, I'll say that. Okay. He didn't make me feel away. How about you?
Stories like don't get me wrong, I like stories of redemption, right? I like stories that, like, when people realize, hey, something's off here, that they take action and they change it. But I hate that it always takes them carrying so much action and then not being able to deal with it, and then like where it comes down to like a sacrificial moment. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, had you just been doing the right fucking thing from the get, how much good could you have been done already? You know what I mean? instead of waiting for you to be like, you know what, I don't want to be a follower right now. I want to be a leader here. And then the last moment you choose to be the leader. Come on now. Like, why you gotta wait till you decide to off yourself? So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, not really off yourself,
I get
but
it. I no, I get what you're saying, and there's I'm not gonna sit here and try to think of all kinds of movies I do, but there's a lot of films that do it. I feel some movies do it better than others because it's more of like I think it's more so of like, say there's somebody you're really close to that's evil and there's somebody that you're really close to that's good, and you're in the middle, like say even if you've been kind of even going back and forth with both of them, but then when it comes to that point where it's like, okay, I have to choose a side, those are usually better told stories than let me just fuck a bunch of shit up and then at the end I'm just gonna change my mind about everything. Like that doesn't necessarily make everything right that you did, or like
yeah.
right your wrongs. This maybe a little bit, because he did say, again, he did help save the Asgardian people, which they were saying like Asgard is basically right here in your heart. It's not
Right.
this planet. It's not this whatever it was. It's not this which what is his name? What's the big rock thing's name? That was one of my favorite characters.
What the fuck is it? I always forget his name.
But anyway, he was talking about Asgard. He was like, well, he was like, yeah, I know all this is going on, but you still have a good structure, this, that, the third. And then the whole thing blew up. He's like, you know what? Never mind. We got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is fucking, like, he was just so fucking funny with damn near he was
Kong,
one of
I
those
think?
ones, like, he was the perfect comic relief. The perfect comic relief. And I enjoyed every second of it. I enjoyed every second of it.
I didn't realize that. Voice.
Oh, nice. Great show, by the way. Great show, by the way.
Still haven't finished it.
Yeah, I gotta finish season 3 when it comes to that. I watched the first 2 seasons of it.
I mean, this cast is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Kate Blanchett, Jeff Goldblum, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Carl Urban. Fucking like this is a line. Wait, bro, did you know? Oh yeah, Matt Damon. That was Matt Damon. I knew it. Why did I not realize? Huh. Damn real actor. Really? I thought fucking. Was Anthony Hopkins not Odin? Oh, in the play when they're doing the play that Loki puts on.
Oh,
Matt Damon, Sam Neill, the guy from fucking Jurassic Park, and fucking Luke Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth's brother, is Thor.
that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. 11. When did it come? Oh yeah.
I just want to pull this up for you guys to show you. This guy right here was
That's fucking Thor.
hilarious. Like, even the way he sounded, like his voice fit the character. Everything was just great about this character. One of them side characters that just had like the maybe not, okay, I'm gonna say something that may be a little crazy to you guys. Maybe not to this extent, but him and his friend were kind of, to a lesser extent, I'll say, as far as significance and as far as like characters you really know, because I don't remember his name. Timon and Pumbaa from Lion King, where you just had like that kind of funny moments with them, or certain moments with them, and even when they're saying something that may be like significant or like deep, there's some funniness to it.
Yeah.
Like when he's talking about the structure of for example, Asgard can be rebuilt, this, that, and the third, and then it blows up, and he's just like, basically, so I forgot what he said verbatim, but basically so much for that, but it was just like a funny spin to it. Or when he thought his friend was dead, he's like, yeah, I accidentally stepped on him earlier, and then he's like, oh, you're not dead. He's like, okay, well, what was your question again?
Yeah.
And just shit like that. It just worked. It just worked. And he's a character that you don't mind being like sprinkled into a film, but if he was in the whole film, it wouldn't have worked, because again, it would have been too silly, too jokey. it would have taken away from a lot of parts in the movie. But like where they put him in was perfect. I wouldn't mind seeing him in either a series or in another film down the road. I don't know if he is or not. I'll see when we get there. I wouldn't mind seeing him. And again, if it's in a movie sprinkled in, if it's in a series, I wouldn't mind seeing more of him in a series, a Thor series or whatever, if they made that, or Avengers, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I enjoyed it, like, and stuff like that, like you said, with the whole like voice working perfectly and stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that like sometimes makes me want to go, you know what, voice acting is kind of a dope thing. Like, let me start training myself for that, because to be able to just like put yourself in there, change like your voice, create a character, have it have an impact and be like memorable, and then also like help the story or enhance it somehow, like, that's fucking dope to me. I fucking love that shit. I love that shit.
Yeah, I do too. And voice acting, being able to do that, I would love to.
Fucking what was I gonna say? So what's happened next? The planet blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the end of the movie there. They go back, they find a new place, which is they take them all to Earth. What was the end credit scene on this one?
Oh shit, give me a minute.
What was the middle credit and what was the end credit? I'm fucking horrible at this past couple of episodes.
You know what it is though too, is like, I'm gonna use my excuse as to why I can't really remember this is, again, this is the second show we did today. Well, technically, I mean, you know what I mean, within the past X amount of hours. And we reviewed 2 films before this. And I watched this film today. I watched half of Constantine today. I watched a movie called Vamp today. So I'm just like I know the movies, but then there's like certain parts, like the end credits. So anybody in the comments, if you guys remember the end credits, please just give us a refresher and we'll go from there with it. But what the fuck was it? I forgot. Like, I forgot.
Interrupted by an unknown ship.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. So it's unknown who's on the ship. But, I mean, we kind of know.
You're right.
All right. Yeah. So that's we're now leading up to the end here with, you know, Infinity Wars and
Endgame.
And yeah, I think there's my tablet's over in the fucking room again. I only think there's 3 or 4 movies left because we got to do Ant-Man and Wasp.
Okay, I think there's 3. I think there's Ant-Man and Wasp, and then the 2 Infinity Wars and Endgame, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that's the last.
Yeah, because we were supposed to be ending today. I think today was supposed to be our last episode. But since we missed a couple weeks, yeah, pushed back 2 or 3 weeks, so we should be ending middle of July. So remember to keep tuning in. We haven't given our ratings yet. We're there right now. It's that time. So we've gone through an entire series, almost in its completion, of 20 some odd movies, of all this creative fucking wonder and storytelling, all these elaborate characters who've not only grown and we've learned about, we've become attached to emotionally, we've become attached to like comically, like we relate to some of these, we relate to some of the choices and the things that have to be done, and you know, the friendships forged. So here we are, end of Thor Ragnarok. We know what's around the corner. Pretty much, if you don't know, you haven't been living in this planet, whether you've seen these movies or not. You know that there's a dude with a big golden glove, okay? You know he's fucking a goddamn one of the retired fucking California raisins. He's just more powerful. He's big, he's purple, his name is Thanos. I'm not ruining it for anybody. That's not a fucking spoiler. You know who this motherfucker is. Anyway, we're here. We've already said how much better this Thor movie was. I've dropped points on some of the other Thor movies as this MCU journey has progressed, and movies like Ant-Man came out, movies like Black Panther, Doctor Strange. It has caused me to go, hey, Thor movies were like 7-ish. I put them down to like the 5.5, 6 range to make room for Ant-Man at like 7, 7.5, 8. Doctor Strange, I love that 8, 8.5, I think. Or did I say 9? I can't remember. I gotta go back and watch. I should have wrote these all down. But basically, the scales got moved and tipped for these movies. So with this one being the one that saved it for you, as far as Thor and its franchise, what are you giving this one?
I know I gave the last two a 6. I said this one was better. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 because I do feel it's pretty significantly better. And I usually don't compare movies, but just for this Marvel universe, there is better films. This movie doesn't deserve an 8 for me, I'll say that. And I know I started off with the first few films were an 8 for me. This doesn't deserve an 8, but I think it deserves a 7.5. I think it's better than a 7. The reason I'm giving it a 7.5 is because I gave the other ones a 6. Like if I gave the other ones a 5, this would be a 7. But I think it's like at least a 1.5 better than the other two Thor movies.
Okay.
But again, fun watch. I don't know if I'd go back to it though. That's the thing with this. Like again, I know tons of movies to watch and shit in general, but this is one like if I was to go, I wouldn't go back to any of the Thor movies to watch it for a second time. If I were, it would be this one, but I don't see it wasn't good enough for me to go back to it. Good one-time watch, well worth the watch though. I'll say that if you've never seen it.
Okay. And that's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking I was gonna say. It's like I would go back to it. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely the one of the 3 that makes it worthwhile to go back and watch a Thor movie. Now, with that said, I did say when I watched Dark World that I wasn't as unpleased with it as I was the first few times that I did watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But still, too many plot holes. Like it was a bit quick with certain plot developmental things in it and the relationships and shit like that. Some of the action felt like it was hurried, but of all the 3, I would return back to this one. I would watch this one, and I would probably tell people, hey, if you already know who some of these characters are, if you don't really care, because these 2 don't really play off a role of the first 2 Thor movies, so I kind of feel like this one can stand on its own by itself. Okay. And I would probably tell people, if you want to get into the Thor stuff, watch this one, and then maybe go back and watch the first 2, just so that you know, hey, this is as good as it's gonna get for you. Because this is the best one of the 3. With that being said, I'm gonna give this one a surprising 7.5 for me.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not surprised at that either, but I'm not mad at that. And again, it's just the best of the 3 out of those movies. It's not bad. It's good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's better than okay. It's the best of the 3, but I don't think, for me personally, this is no shout at you, Gio. Big shout out to you. Much love to you and everything you do. But I don't even think this is touching the top 10 in this franchise, in this universe. I don't even know if it's touching top 10. Don't quote me on that because I have to go back and at least look at the movie covers to kind of just get a refresh of what I thought of the movies. Definitely not top 5 though. Top 10 is maybe even pushing it for me.
I mean, Captain America, fucking Black Panther, the fucking Guardians of the Galaxies. We got fucking the Winter Soldier. We got Iron Man. We got fucking Civil War, which had a calamity of heroes in it. We had multiple Iron Mans, actually. We had fucking multiple Captain America. Like, it's so hard to want to put this among those tops. It's definitely probably in the middle range for me. As far as, like, if I were to fucking rate, 1 through 5 or whatnot, this could possibly make the top 5, maybe. Not guaranteeing that, maybe. Or it would be a notable mention.
Like honorable mention?
Yeah, honorable mention. It may not make the top 5 for me, but as an honorable mention, Thor Ragnarok is up there for me. I mean, look at that list. Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor, Avengers, Thor Dark World, Iron Man 3, Captain America Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Avengers, Ant-Man, Civil War, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and now Thor Ragnarok.
I'll say this:
Oh.
you take the Thor trilogy that we've watched so far. This is my opinion, my opinion, right? And I'll just use. I can even just use this one because it was the best one. Captain America. To me, the only movies that I enjoyed. I mean, no. Let me rephrase this. Yeah, the only movie that I enjoyed less than the 3 Thor movies was Black Widow. Every other movie that I'm looking at on this
Oh yeah,
list that
Black
I've
Widow's
seen,
not even on that list there, but it should be.
no, it really should be. I just went through another. I just googled this really quick, but yeah.
And now
There
the
we go.
more elaborate one has the shows in it, has Eternals, it has Shang-Chi. I mean, there should be a list with the Spider-Mans on it, honestly. But at the same
Agreed.
time,
But
it's so tough.
just as far, and exclude the TV series. I'm saying just as far as what we've reviewed so far and what's coming up soon. All the movies I liked besides Black Widow, I liked better than all the Thor movies. Me personally. So that's why it won't even make my top 5 or my top 10. I'm not saying that to bash it. I'm just saying for my enjoyment of it, I like I said, I wouldn't go back to it. I wouldn't go back to any of them unless the wife was like, "Hey, I want to watch these movies," because we have been watching these for the most part together. Um, so if it was something like that, then yes. Other than that, maybe a watch party thing, like say if Worst Damn threw a watch party for you guys or something like that, and he was like, "Yo, it's 30, I want you to be there." I'm gonna be there for it, but other than that, I wouldn't watch these movies. Like on my own to go back and watch them. If I was gonna watch anything from the Marvel universe, it wouldn't be Thor, and it definitely wouldn't be Black Widow.
I still don't know how you didn't enjoy that, but whatever. We're not here to talk about that. I'm not getting back into it. That was one of those moments where we had to leave it be.
Hey man, you like what you like, and you hate, and you don't like that. And that's the beauty of it, though. Like that's the cool thing, because like as much as we record together, as much as we pod together, as much as we just talk, not even recording, just talking. We were talking at like 9 o'clock this morning, just for shits and good, talking about actually streamlining some other stuff. But what I'm getting at is, I like when there's movies you're like, I have a feeling I know what he's gonna review this movie as, and then I love being wrong with those situations. Like, really, whether it's a good rating, I agree with it, or good or bad. If I agree with it or disagree with it, I'm just like, you fucking threw me for a loop with this one.
Yeah.
You threw me for a loop with this.
Oh, that one threw me for a real big loop.
I know. I know that, and I get it though, because overall, like again, this is a great universe, and there's people that love that movie. I just wasn't a fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're not gonna like everything. And there's a lot of shit that I like and I enjoy and I have fun with. You guys will not even fucking think about even watching. He knows. He's seen a lot of it.
Yep. Therapy came out of it.
But then there's also some really good ones that we're all just like, wow. That was. I mean, shit. Go back and watch the YouTube channel Popcorn and Pints. The last episode we just did earlier.
Yep.
2 good 7s. Or no, I gave it 8 and a 7. I think you did 7, 8 for the movies.
Yep.
Great ratings across the board. Nothing was lower than a 7 for this past episode.
Yep.
That and the Batman last week's episode. Usually, we don't usually get that, especially back-to-back episodes. Next week's gonna be a rough one.
For you, maybe, but I honestly, I don't. If you go into it with no expectation, I think you'll come out of it, and I think you might actually enjoy it. Well, I haven't seen them yet, obviously, but I think you might surpass your expectation if you have no expectation.
It's
that
one
makes
of those
sense.
things, though, yo. Like just seeing his face, hearing just anything, hearing his name gets on my nerves. Let alone seeing him, hearing him, and now he's gonna be acting as himself, but like overact. I just tune in. Again, Z Network content. You guys are gonna love it. Popcorn and Pints. If you want to see me flip out, it's gonna be next Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see what happens.
So next Saturday night, we're gonna be doing Ant-Man and the Wasp. So come on, get down. If you haven't gone back and seen the Ant-Man review, you can go watch that on YouTube. You can catch any of these episodes previously over on the YouTube page for the Worst Damn Gamer Ever. So please go ahead, make sure you hit that bell, hit the notification, get down in the comments, let me know if you agree, disagree, if you think we're completely cuckoo, if you hate the content, you love the content. I need to know so that I know which direction to keep moving it going. Keep it going. I have more shit in the works for you, movie-wise, and what's gonna get reviewed for this show right here. So get ready. I do have the Batman in mind. I do have Black Phone in mind. There's gonna be more diversity coming. This wasn't supposed to be, and isn't the intent to be, just a superhero podcast or just a hero movie podcast. There's gonna be a plethora of things to spread out for all different people that love all different genres, so that you can enjoy that, and maybe you can go and check out another piece of content that maybe you wouldn't, but you're gonna enjoy because you like our vibe, you like how we review and how we give you the dish on it straight out. So I appreciate anybody who did come in, did watch an IG. Always good seeing you, Ronell. Thanks for coming through. It was good seeing you this morning. I hope everybody's been having some great days and some great times. I know it's hard to sometimes in this world with all the pressures and everything that goes on in everybody's lives. So thank you, Sturdy, for coming through, for staying up late, for making it happen with me. I appreciate the banter back and forth. I appreciate your perspective, and you throw me for loops at times, no matter how angry it seems I get sometimes. I'm passionate. I'm not angry. I'm passionate. There's a difference. I'm Latino. But everybody, you can catch Sir Sturdy Tuesdays and Thursdays on his podcast, Horror with Sir Sturdy, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The man does gaming Mondays and Wednesdays. He's now starting to do watch parties on Friday with reviews as well, late night on Saturdays if there's no gaming or anything going on. Right after this show, he's got a couple people that he's going to be doing these reviews for horror shows with. So make sure you hit the bell on him. Make sure you hit the follow, the subscribe. Go support him. He games for causes. He joins charity streams. This man is out here trying to help change the world. So make sure you are helping support and you're getting the message out. Even if you're not going to be a consistent person, if you know somebody who would, pass it along. Let people know about the content that we're producing here. Let people know about the effort and the energy that we're putting in. Make sure you're spreading the love every single day if you can. Say hi to somebody, give them a head nod, give them a hand five, high five, shake their hands, tell them it's all gonna be all right, because there's enough drama in the world. You don't need to add to it. And sometimes in order to be the best, you gotta be the worst. And I'm gonna keep doing that for all of y'all on all of my content.
I got to answer one question real quick from Stream Lounge. So, Mark, this is actually, if you go to Worst Damn Gamer Ever, this is actually on his Facebook, his YouTube, his Twitch. Like, it's originally all over the place. So, again, that Z Network link that I shared in there earlier in the Stream Lounge thing, you could find him there. You could find all of his awesome, amazing content. And I don't know how he is with bringing guests on. I don't want to throw this at him, but I'm going to throw this at him anyway. As far as when it comes to Horror Research 30, you want to come on an episode and review a movie with us, you see what we're reviewing, come on. I don't know how he is here. I'm not going to say he has the same policy, but hey, you heard, okay, there you go. Boom. If you ever want to review a movie, just hit us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That goes Popcorn and Pine too. Just hit us up, because the thing is what I've realized with doing this kind of stuff is it's awesome being a part of something. Even if you just come on for like 1 or 2 episodes, you're a part of it, you feel connected with it, you'll share it with you're more likely to share it if you're a part of it. That's one. And two, it's cool getting somebody's perspective that we've never met, that we haven't had these conversations with for over a year for some of us and more, with these reviews and all that. It's cool getting these new people coming in here and giving their perspectives, giving their reviews, whether it's in the comments or coming in on the podcast with us and giving your reviews and all that good stuff. So just keep that in mind, people, because it's fun. It is fun. So again, big shout out to you, Mark. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. And I'm telling you, go check out The Worst Damn Gamer, because you will have a great time with him. Between him gaming, between him doing movie reviews, when he games, he gets bullied by children. I laugh all the time. Go check out his TikTok. You're a fucking bitch.
Yep.
Oh, it's so funny. Which I meant to tell you, yo. I think it was last week. I sent your TikTok to my stepson. I was talking about that video. He found it. He was dying.
I got a lot of stuff.
But yeah, definitely, people, check it out for a great, fun time. And Mark said sounds good. So definitely, Mark, hit us up. You're following me on Twitter. He's also on Twitter. I think you would have a great time. I know Sean would as well. He's a ball of fun and energy, and like he said, he has other types of content that he does, movie and movie content, show content that I'm not saying he would. Well, actually, no, because he said it to others. Like, as far as like, he loves doing his midnight lives, where for certain content that needs to be pre-recorded, he can be accommodating.
Yep.
You can and this is something you would love to be a part. It's something I feel like you should be a part of. You can be a part of it if you're someone who enjoys this kind of stuff. Thank you so much for a great show. Thank you, Mark. We greatly appreciate that. Mark, you got to get Twitch connected with this. I'm gonna hit you guys up this week, but you guys got to get Twitch connected with all this stuff, because as podcasters, I can see podcasters really going through and using this as well as other platforms, because it is amazing, especially with the watch parties. That is so dope, and you get the other free platforms on there for people to really be able to connect. Because you guys can also look at this as connecting with your family and your friends that live far away. Hey, let's go to Stream Lounge. Let's all go in there. Let's watch it. Let's go on Tubi or whatever the other ones are. Because say everybody's gonna have Netflix. Let's go on Tubi. Let's just watch some movies together like we used to as kids growing up, and have these awesome, beautiful conversations, fun conversations where random stuff comes out. And these things, we do them because we love it. But look at this as like that time. Look at this as like your getaway. As he was saying earlier, all the craziness in the world, right here can be your peace. Everybody needs that peace. Everybody needs that peace of mind. I want to say it's really last thing, because I know we got to get going, but I was watching a clip from Mike Tyson's podcast, and actually I know he was on another podcast, and people were talking about like what was his happiest moment or his most peaceful moment. He said the 3 years he spent in prison. And
wow.
the guy was like, what about the 30 million? He was like, no. He's like, money doesn't make you happy, because when you have money, that's when you're at peace. He was like, I was at peace. I was calm. I was like, nobody was fucking with him. Nobody was taking from him. He was just kind of at peace, and mentally. And you see the transition that man has made from, and I'm only 36, but from the 90s where he would knock us out just for mentioning his name wrong, to now he'll give you a hug, like, what's going on here? You know, it's just crazy. And the only reason I'm saying that is because if he can make that transition, we all can, as far as being better, as far as treating each other better from day to day. If you can, you don't have to. If you can afford it, buy somebody a coffee. It costs $1 or $2. Little things like that really mean the world to people. Really, just think about it like that. Let's try to be better to each other in every way possible. Let's try to laugh and smile more. Say hi to each other when you see each other. Hold the door open. Just simple things. Simple things. Like I said, buy somebody a coffee. Buy somebody a water. Let's not bash each other so much. We can talk shit about movies like we always do. Like, I'm going to say fuck Nicolas Cage, I don't like his films and all that. In real life, I don't want anything bad to happen to him, even though I don't like him. I can't stand his face. But I want him to be healthy. So, you know. Just saying, guys. But seriously, thank you guys for all your support. Please keep coming and watching the Z Network. Everybody we're affiliated with, and cast us for a cause that is still going on until Sunday. I'm not sure what time they're ending it, but as of the last night when we were doing the stream with them, they raised $660.
Nice.
And their goal is $1,000. That's like their goal. So if it's that 1,000, that'd be amazing. And it's going for 2 great charities to help people. One's to help feed people, and one's to hopefully simmer down in school shootings. The Sandy Hook Promise. And again, let's just keep going with this positivity. Let's make positivity the cool thing. And that goes across the board for everybody. Let's make positivity and treating each other right the cool thing. All this dumb, violent shit, besides movies and all that, of course, but in real life, all that dumb violence, all that nonsense, it's corny. Let's make positive, being nice to each other and all that. Make that the cool thing. Make that the popular thing. Make that the quote-unquote trend. Make kindness go viral. Let's make kindness go viral. That is something the whole world needs. The whole world can use like a hug. And I'm not even going to say alcohol. I'm going to say a hug and a drink of water, because the whole world's fucking hot now. You've seen the news. Cool the fuck off. Earth is just, you motherfuckers keep doing stupid shit. I'm going to burn you motherfuckers up like the dinosaurs. You better stop. You better stop, human. I'm done
over here.
I'm done.
He's telling the truth right there. That's what we need. Positivity, love, spread it. You know, just because we're different doesn't mean we gotta hate each other. You guys all be well. Enjoy yourselves. I'll probably be back tomorrow at some point on either gaming or just maybe doing a just chatting and chilling while I'm answering some messages on TikTok. Might be editing a few things. If not, I'll definitely be back Monday for the Motivational Monday. It's your boy, the Worst Sam Gamer, reminding you, in order to be the best, sometimes you gotta be the worst. Spread the